damn, your voice sounds sexy. You sexy man, you. You're sexy and you got a nice butt.
Yo. This will never be on the radio. CalcagnoRadio. Start now.
Episode 46, CalcagnoRadio begins right now with the Slipper Twins. Me and Joe both have our slippers on, although mine are technically Crocs.
Yeah, you're rocking Crocs. I'm just rocking the Amazon slip-ons.
I just got
what company this is.
Bunch of packages from Amazon. The guy just rolled up.
Isn't it so exciting when that happens?
Well, yeah, and my wife was like, what did you buy? She thought it was like something really good. I had bought light bulbs, socks, Argyle. Yeah. Socks.
Hey, right there, buddy.
Yeah, you know what? A lot like that. Mine aren't purple like that, but yours are kind of a gray, black, and purple blend.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so I got that. That's a big day today.
Yeah.
It's always good to get something in the mail, and as we've said before, I want to shop local, but they don't seem to sell socks in 6 packs of Argyle socks for $12 around here.
That's like one pair of socks.
Right, so I got them from Amazon, so that was a good day today. But they came in like a unmarked van, you know, like the ones where they give out free candy?
Yeah, like the ones where the side just opens, and then, whoop, someone's gone. Someone's removed from the street.
Yeah, I was a little confused,
the population control van.
I noticed around the holidays they were using U-Haul vans.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Like, dude, that should tell retailers how bad it's going to get.
Yeah.
That around the holidays, Amazon, which is a finely tuned killing machine, doesn't even have enough drivers/vehicles to deliver all the packages.
Right. And even with the help of UPS, FedEx, the U.S. Postal Service, and DHL, they still need to contract guys out with a U-Haul to deliver packages.
Yeah, I saw a U-Haul pull up one day, and I'm like, what is going on?
Like, who's moving in?
I was like, my wife's finally leaving me. This is happening. I started crying. Why are you doing this? Wendy, why are you doing this? I just love you. And, yeah, no, it turns out she was not leaving like I thought.
Yeah.
But it turns out that I was just getting a nice package for the
Over the Christmas season, I heard that there were lots of thefts at the local malls where, like, gangs or whatever would pull up in a U-Haul, like, outside the Oakland Mall, and then just smash and grabs, load the back of it.
Oh, okay.
Go to the next store, go to a Target, go to a Dunham's, load it, and then they would,
give it to underprivileged children?
I'm guessing that. I'm hoping that
they would pull up in some bad neighborhood like, Santa's here. Come out and get some free stuff.
Right.
It's the only accent I know.
Yeah,
so that was
Transylvania.
Yeah.
So Dracula and the crew was pulling up, handing out gifts that they had stolen.
Yeah.
Like Robin Hood. Robin Hood.
Have you ever seen those videos online of, like, I guess they call it like a mob theft? I've seen it in other cities where people will have, 60 people.
Yeah.
Mostly like, teenagers. They go into a 7-Eleven and it looks like a swarm of bees. Like, they just go in with the mentality that they can't stop all of us.
Right.
So we'll just go in, everybody grabs something, and by the time 30 seconds is up, and by the time the cops have even been called, we've got every Hostess cupcake in the joint.
Right.
Like, they don't get anything. They don't get anything of value.
The only thing left are Luna bars.
The guy's like, oh, what'd you get? He's like, oh, what'd you get? A Luna bar.
The only thing left
I'm allergic to nuts.
Yeah, Luna bars and Fresca.
Yes.
In the cooler. Everything else is gone.
Yeah, I've seen people do that, and you're like, wow, that I've still...
And low-calorie Gatorade. Yeah. Because that's just gross.
G2?
Yeah.
I love G2.
It's the ones that are like the...
You're about organic? Those ones. I would like. Who buys organic Gatorade? Like, we all know Gatorade is not good for us.
Right. No, it's terrible.
But to buy organic Gatorade, it's like, that doesn't even really make a lot of sense.
I know, but the ones that are like the 0 calories, they taste. They have that chemical sweetener taste.
Right.
And I can't do it.
Yeah, when you talk about going into a convenience store and robbing it, though, like, what kind of mentality? You're like, well, I can go to jail for this, but hey, it's worth it to get a low-calorie Gatorade.
Right. A low-calorie Gatorade, a payday, and maybe $38 out of the register.
Well, yeah, they don't have a lot of cash in there, from what I understand.
No.
So, yeah, but I have watched videos on more than one occasion on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, can you guys do me a solid? Can someone watch the freaking episodes on YouTube? Even just one click would be nice. I go through, like, a friend of mine who's like a social media, guru. He's like, one of the things you need to do to make it easier for people is you need to put it on YouTube. You need to have a static image, which is just like the picture that goes along with it. Upload it to YouTube. You can
Clickbait.
Yeah. All this stuff about, like, you can find YouTube, this, blah, blah, blah. I must have heard the term YouTube 30 times. So I found a place to do it. And every week for the last 4 weeks, I've uploaded the episode of this podcast. It's on YouTube. I went yesterday. I have on 2 clicks on one of them, which I know two views. One of the views was me testing if it worked.
Yeah.
The other one is someone else who probably got like 10 minutes and was like,
I
what
did
is
it the other day, and I sent a link to my girlfriend because she was driving home. She got out of work early because of the snowstorm. And she was like, hey, I'm driving home. Where do I go to listen to the podcast so I can listen on the way home? And I was like, well, go to the Calcagno Facebook and then click to this link, which takes you to SoundCloud, create an account. And then I was like, that's too much.
No, you can listen on my website, CalcagnoRadio. They're up there. You don't have to do anything with SoundCloud. I got rid of that hoop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I realized I was asking people to do a lot. If you can remember Calcagno and radio, it's on there. There's a podcast page. You click a button, it plays on the
4
browser.
clicks is way too much. We have to really
But the
get it down.
YouTube thing, you're like, dude, are you kidding me? Like,
well, that's what I did. I ended up sending her the link.
did she
to
watch
the
it on there? Or
YouTube.
she was like, this stuff's crap.
No, I'm sure she was just listening to it on the way home from work.
But she didn't realize there was an episode 45 with Reed?
No, I sent her the link to the 44. 'cause
Okay.
She hadn't heard that one.
All right, so let's talk about podcasting for a second. I'm going to throw out a statement that I heard the other day online, and I want to get your genuine reaction.
Okay.
Someone said, it seems like in 2018, everyone has a podcast.
It does seem that way.
But is that bad? Because my initial reaction to that is, yeah, that's true. But I also think that's really good. Now, wait for it. I think it's good because it allows people to listen to whatever they want. It's a good opportunity for anybody who wants to talk about anything to have a show. I mean, like, if I have a friend of mine who's super into ultra running, like ultra marathons. He runs like 100-mile races. And he listens to this podcast and loves it. He loves podcasts. He's like, I have one that I listen to that's all about backgammon. And I have one that's all about ultra marathoning.
Right.
And the host is not, doesn't sound like a radio person. Probably the show isn't very good or very polished, but it's all about what he's into. And I think that's good.
Yeah, see, that's how I am. So people have probably heard me. I don't say this to be hipsterish, like when I say that, like, I don't have normal TV. I'm poor. So that's why I don't have cable. I stream my stuff through Netflix and Hulu. So when me and you talk and you're like, hey, did you see this and you see that? And I'm always like, no, I don't have TV. Like, I don't say that because I'm trying to be hipster. I'm poor. I don't, I afford what I can, and that's through streaming stuff. Well, when it comes to radio, I'm kind of the same way. You know me. After we graduated high school, I was part of a punk ska band. And so my brain, I'm just kind of stuck back in the old, punk scene and kind of like 90s music. And so nowadays there's nothing on the radio that I enjoy. So a lot of times my default on the radio is to like sports talk. But a lot of times, like, my dial is normally set to sports talk, but 80% of the time I don't want to hear about what they're talking about. So I'm kind of stuck in this limbo. Of
Well, you'll listen to me when I'm on because you know me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So DVD on Saturday and Sunday mornings, I'm listening to you, but I'm listening for the 10 seconds in between where you say something funny, and then it goes back to music that I don't listen to. Like,
Okay.
I don't listen to the entire catalog of Pink, and like one Saturday morning, that's all that was played, which is fine. Like, my kids would love that. My girlfriend would love that. I don't. And so that's what podcasting allows me to do. I'm the same way. I listen to a wine podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
And so
that would never be on the radio.
Never.
No one's going to put that on the radio.
Correct.
Nor should they. Like, don't get me wrong. I think radio has its place. I think TV has its place. And I think podcasting has its place. But to say everyone has a podcast, I think good.
Yeah.
I think there's room in the podsphere for everybody. Like, I think anybody.
Podverse.
Yeah, podverse. Anybody who wants to talk about whatever they want should have the opportunity to do that.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm not saying that all of them are going to get a lot of listens, but for the most part, if you want to talk about wine, like you said, or you want to talk about 90s punk bands, like you said, or, even if it's like movie talk about movies I've never seen, if that's what you want to put out there, put it out in the universe. If people want to listen to it, they'll listen to it. And I think it'll level the playing field. Like, I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Like the other podcast I do, Cross Culture Critic podcast, like on that show, my co-host and I, we talk about mainstream music and movies, and then the little spin that we have, like the little niche that we have, is we take it, those messages and stuff, and we look at it through like a religious lens, and we kind of bring faith and stuff like that into things and discuss topics. Obviously, that's a niche thing.
Exactly.
So when people listen to that, like, we're not like you, like on this, this podcast, you have like thousands of listeners. That one, we have 80. But it's 80 people that really enjoy that
exactly,
podcast.
And that's my point, is that, you know what I mean? You listen to this, we do have thousands of people, and I appreciate everybody that listens.
Hundreds of thousands.
No, we don't have hundreds of thousands, and that's fine. Believe me, I'm fine with it. I am so happy with these people that listen to this podcast because of the fact that, like I said before, it's permission listening. This wasn't that you're driving in your car, you happen to pop it on. You had to go, up until a couple of weeks ago, make an account on SoundCloud, make an account on iTunes, Google Play, whatever. You had to do a lot to get it. Once you subscribe, which I said, please subscribe. Once you do that, you'll get it directly in your inbox or wherever it goes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, you did something. You found this podcast, whichever way, whatever. If it was maybe that you listened when I first got fired from 80 on X, and you were like, listen, I want to hear if he's going to go off, which I didn't, because I don't really need to. I don't have sour grapes. Like, whatever. Life goes on. It's a job.
Right.
That's what I'm saying on right now while we're listening.
Right, but the book's due out in August. So we're taking pre-orders. You can go to Smitty's Publishing and pre-order
it. If you pre-order it, I'll sign a copy. I'll sign a copy of the digital download.
Me, Darren McCarty, and Kid Rock will be at Borders Books in Roseville.
Signing copies of my new book, I Got Screwed, allegedly.
Right.
In
the
other
story
tales,
of 89X.
And other tales from my days as a DJ.
No, but I mean, see, the thing is, in our everyday, like I'm always trying to get like stuff out of you, like, oh no, so tell me the real thing, and you don't have anything bad to say.
What do I got
at 89X or anything like
that?
No,
for real.
You have
first of all, I
I
can't legally say anything bad about them.
I know you can't legally.
No, but I don't really. Yeah, but I don't really have anything to say. Honestly,
right? I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, as a good friend of yours, I don't want to say I'm your best friend, but as a good friend of yours,
I don't like start throwing around those terms. Best.
Yeah. I mean, because I don't want to say like I'm your best friend, and then you give me like an eyebrow raise, like, no, Adam Grant from the Detroit Free Press,
from the news.
Yeah.
Don't say Free Press, news.
Oh, I just screwed him over.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. But either way, I think everyone has a podcast is a good statement. And you know what? I think much like YouTubers, who I've changed my whole opinion on in the last 3 months, it's the wave of the future. I'm not saying TV is going to be overtaken by YouTubers. I'm not saying radio is going to be overtaken by podcasters. I'm just saying in the information age, there's nothing wrong with everybody being able to talk about whatever they want, so long as it's positive and not full of hate, which is a whole other discussion.
Right.
It's
a pleasure to be with you guys here on the field from up close, just watching Coach Vance Joseph from here. You watch him now on the screen.
CalcagnoRadio.
So we have a request, Joe. Caitlin Mocan asked us to talk about something. She sent us an email on CalcagnoRadio@gmail.com. It's about the Grammys. Now, the Grammys happened last weekend, Sunday to be exact. And
the award. I thought I'd talk about our grandmas.
No.
I'd be like, well, my grandma passed away about 15 years ago.
Rest your soul.
Liver cancer.
I don't want to talk about it. You start to cry. Why is that so awkward when someone starts to cry and you don't know what to do?
Yeah, it's a toughie.
Right? Like, I remember I had this girl one time who came in, and I was like, hey, she worked for me, and I was like, hey, is everything all right? You seem a little bit off. And that was all it took to sort of start the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And she started to cry. But, like, because I was a little bit smart enough back then to be like, no physical touch because it's just me and her in office, like, I was like, I'm really sorry that you and your boyfriend are breaking up. Here's some Kleenex.
Right.
Because I didn't want to, like, hug her.
Right.
Because I didn't really know her like that.
See, when I was a kid, like a preteen, I saw like a movie or something in church where
Here we go.
Like there was somebody crying in the hallway, and like this video in church was like, if you see somebody, you should always go up and ask, be the
Are you
good
okay?
Samaritan. Are you okay? And that's always stuck with me. So like even now, like as an adult, if I like walk by somebody and they're like upset, I always walk up to them and I'm like, are you okay?
Right, yeah, I would ask if they're all right.
And then when they start unloading, every time I'm like, why did I ask this question? Because I asked, like, the part of the movie that got me was asking if they're okay.
Right, yeah. Like
the movie then didn't go on for any counsel training or, therapy after that.
Listen, bro,
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure what to do at this point.
Right.
But
Right. So I ask people if they're okay. They say no and unload with some issue that I have no clue as to how to help them.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, okay.
I'm like, I got a friend who went through this similar thing.
Well,
Here's his phone number. It's
Right.
you.
Or give them like a napkin to like cry in and then be like, okay, well, hope it gets better. And you're walking away like, that's not going to get better. You got at least another 3 weeks of it getting worse.
Right.
And a court hearing.
Right, like they say that like this too shall pass, like that whole thought, but like nowhere does it say it's not going to pass like a kidney stone.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's going to hurt coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you can pass a kidney stone, but believe me, you'll always remember passing that.
Yep, exactly.
I had a friend of mine who had a kidney stone. Bo, our friend, had a kidney stone. I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name on here because of HIPAA laws. But yeah, he had a kidney stone. He said it was like trying to pass
and
a
Matt
pebble.
Stafford helped deliver it. But we can't say that on the air because of HIPAA laws.
No, he said that it was like trying to pee out a piece of gravel.
Yeah, I know. My two major, I may have even said it on the show before, my two major fears in life are hot air balloons and kidney stones. I never want to experience either.
We will talk about what Caitlin emailed in a second ago about the Grammys. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's talk about hot air balloons for a second. Whoever thought this was a good idea? There is absolutely no steering mechanism in a hot air balloon.
No. If you take a Mylar helium balloon, tie something to the bottom of it, and let it go, tie a G.I. Joe
Yeah.
and let it go, that is the equivalent of you in a hot air
Right.
balloon. You're in a wicker basket. Who uses wicker? The last time I sat in a wicker chair up in my dad's cottage, I broke through it because the wicker rotted.
You fatted it out.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
The-
The wicker did not rot. You fatted it out.
I fatted it out, and it snapped. The wicker snapped. You go up in a wicker basket, a Lungenbrunner wicker basket,
Longenberger.
wicker basket under a balloon.
Filled with air that's got a fire thing. There's no parachutes either that I know of. They
No
don't bring
parachute.
parachutes or even like an umbrella.
And here's the other thing. They put sandbags on. You take the sandbags, off to go higher. Well, now that you're up, where are the sandbags to make you go back down?
I think the law of gravity applies where they start to let the balloon cool a little bit. But again, going back to YouTube videos, you ever see those ones where they don't clear houses and they like knock over chimneys?
Well, that's my other thing. If, like, let's say I'm like, hey, kids, let's go up to Traverse City, and we'll do it by a hot air balloon. We're not going to drive. We're going to hot air balloon to Traverse City. You can't get a balloon. How are you going to get a balloon from Royal Oak to Traverse City? You don't. It goes up,
where it wants to go.
and it goes where it goes, and you end up crashing into power lines in Bay City.
It's so true. Okay, let's get back to the topic at hand for a
It's
second.
archaic.
Okay, so Caitlin Mocan asked us to talk about this again via CalcagnoRadio@gmail.com. Now, the Grammy Awards were Sunday, and Avengers...
Now, she talk about the awards or our Grammy?
it's like the whole thing again.
Hot air balloons. What's up with that?
What is with airplane food? I mean, what is the deal with that?
Magnets. How do they work?
Yeah, oh, God, that's the greatest song. Okay, wait, we got to stick to this, though.
So, Cameron Mocan, what did she say?
Caitlin Mocan wanted us to talk about this, which happened about the Grammys.
Okay.
Avenged Sevenfold, you know the band, right?
Yes.
They skipped this year's Grammy Awards in protest of the way the organization treats the rock and heavy metal genre categories. Here's the deal. They were nominated for Best Rock Song for The Stage, which is one of their songs. First ever Grammy nod for them. Let me tell you their names, though, which I didn't know this. I knew M. Shadows, guitarist Sinister Gates, Zachy Vengeance, and bassist Johnny Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, don't forget about Brooks Wackerman.
Right.
He's the drummer. Like, I think he kept his Christian name.
Right.
He didn't come up with a stage name. So someone asked them if they were going to be going to the show, and they said that they were honored, but they unfortunately were not going to be going because the Best Rock Song category was taken off the telecast this year. So they said, quote, maybe next time, and also added, how marginalized has rock become when Rock Song of the Year can't get 2 minutes? Thoughts?
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Like, if you're going to be the rock band that's like, let's put our feet together. If you guys. Oh, I thought you were taking a picture of it to post it.
We just put our feet up.
Together. We touched our feet and put it up as like an Eiffel Tower.
Okay, I'll take a picture. Hang on 1 second.
Like Eiffel Tower.
First, I got to unlock my phone. Okay, it's taken.
So
they're going to be the band that's going to take a stand against the Best Rock Song not being televised. Are you surprised that the Best Rock Song isn't televised?
Yes, because here's the thing. I agree. I stopped watching the Grammys. I stopped watching all that a long time ago because I feel it's too like hip hop heavy. Everything is hip hop. Everything is, from the just and there's nothing wrong with hip hop, but it's too much. You know what I mean?
See, I would argue that it's not hip hop heavy enough. Like, I think hip hop is very, very popular right now. But then if you look at who wins all the awards, they keep it safe. Like, an example, Kendrick Lamar had one of the biggest records of the year. He opened up the Grammys. He was up for, I think 8 awards and won 0.
Okay.
Because he just doesn't win awards. Where Album of the Year goes to Bruno Mars because that's it's pop music. It's also kind of hip hop. Where it's no, dude,
right.
Saying Bruno Mars is hip hop is like saying that Flo Rida is a rapper, a gangster rapper.
So that's where I go wrong because I lump all that together in hip hop. Everyone who you just said, I just lump all that together as hip hop.
Okay.
So when I say it's hip hop heavy, that's what I think. They're not playing, Rancid, Bouncing Souls. They're not playing Greta Van Fleet. The bands that I like to listen to. If Greta was playing on the awards, I would tune in and watch it. I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to be on the Grammys?
Yeah.
This up-and-coming band and they're Frankenmuth kids. Heck yeah, I'm listening. But they don't. And so I just don't listen to it. And then the next morning, I just, Good Morning America always shows hey, if you missed it, this is what happened at the Grammys last night. And if it's something interesting as this year, again, I butcher all this stuff. I'm sorry, people, because I'm not in tune to what's going on. But is the song called Despacito?
Despacito, yeah.
Okay.
Close, you're close.
So that song, they said that there was a woman that was just absolutely stunning. And when I opened up the news on my phone that morning, it was who is this woman who lit the Grammys on fire, blah, 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 blah. And it was 3 or 4 different articles about this woman. So I was like, well, what are they talking
You're
about?
I must Google this.
Yeah, so I did. I YouTube pulled up the performance. It was a great performance. I know that's the biggest song around. I don't think I've ever heard it. I don't think. And so I watched the performance, and this woman comes out, and I'm waiting for her to do some amazing flamenco dance or something, and she didn't. She walked on the stage like a model. She teased her hair. She did the where you put one foot in front of the other one with your knee bent and hip to the side and then switched and rotated.
Almost like she was being a fashion model.
Yeah, teased her hair a little bit. She was out there for 15 seconds and walked off. And I'm waiting for more. I'm okay, well, is she going to come back and finish a dance or do something? That was it.
But that's the Grammys, though. That's what I'm saying. Here's the thing. Caitlin, I understand exactly where you're coming from, which is you're saying that you want us to be outraged that the Best rock song is not on the telecast and Stand Up for Avenged Sevenfold, that they boycotted it.
I'm with her.
I am too. Here's what I will say about this. Avenged Sevenfold did the right thing. Why go to the Grammys if your award is not going to be on during the telecast? Now,
right.
I assume it was before the telecast. It obviously had to have been given out at some point, right? They don't just skip it.
Right.
But they've decided at the Grammys that they're no longer in the business of rock music, right? They're also not in the business of polka music or spoken word or classical. They're just not in that business. And I think that what the Grammys have decided, whether it be a public or private decision, is that they're in the business of pop music and hip hop. That's all they want to do, is cater to the crowd that listens to Taylor Swift, listens to Despacito, listens to Selena Gomez.
At the end of the day, it's dollars and cents.
Well, exactly, and that's what I was going to say.
You know?
I hate to say it, but if you look at the charts of the top-selling songs, whether it be singles, whether it be albums, whether it be records of the year, you look at the charts of the top 100, I bet you Avenged Sevenfold or any other rock band isn't even the top 50.
Oh, heck yeah. You're right.
Because they just, in what people are looking for right now, it's unfortunately not rock. I disagree.
Right.
Like, I think it should be. I think there's a lot of really good bands out there that just don't get their due.
Well, it's like we were talking with podcasts.
Yeah.
There's something out there for everyone, but this style of music draws 80, this podcast draws 80 listeners. This style of music draws, 200,000 listeners. And in the grand scheme of things, the networks that are showing the Grammys on their television station, they're not catering to 2 million people. They're catering to the 100 million people that are buying the albums,
right?
That they're
and
showing.
they have a decision to make. Do they put
they're pirating the albums that they're showing?
Yeah. Do they have a? Do they want their viewers to see Despacito, which, by the way, was Justin Bieber sang on that song but wasn't on the telecast. So that was the other thing. That song didn't sound anything like it did in real. Like, the one you hear on the radio isn't what they played at the Grammys because Justin Bieber wasn't there, and this girl comes out and makes headlines because she's so beautiful and whatever. I didn't even see that part. But would they prefer to have that on there, having people talk about it, or have Avenged Sevenfold play live because they're going to win the best rock song or whatever? No, they would rather have Despacito without Justin Bieber and with some model we've never heard of, because more people will be talking about that than Shadows doing it. I think it's wrong. I think it's absolutely takes away from the Grammys. But let's face it, it's the Grammys. This isn't like, legally binding. Never forget, Macy Gray won 11 Grammys one time. Do you remember who that is?
Yes.
I'll try to say goodbye and I smoke. Try to walk away and I stumble. Yeah, she won 11.
From Training Day. Remember her on Training Day?
Was she in Training Day?
Yeah,
she was in Spider-Man. I remember that.
Yeah, she was too.
Yeah, but I mean, like, she's nowhere to be found. Like, there's a lot of people that have won Grammys that haven't gone on to do anything. So if I'm M. Shadows,
I feel like Macy Gray is the type of lady that I could have walked by in the last week.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, she just looks like normal lady that, like, I was in Qdoba and she was probably in there eating.
Or working.
Yeah, and I would never in a million years. Yeah, since she hasn't put out a song in a while, yeah, she probably made enough.
I don't know, man. Like, I think when you look at some of these people who win, like, the best new artist at the Grammys, which is, we've said before, is kind of the kiss of death. Because I wish I had the list in front of me.
Jethro Tull.
Did they win best new? Here, let me look up.
I think Jethro Tull beat out like Metallica.
Oh, yeah, for the best rock category, which, again, you're like, dude. I mean, even when Metallica played last year, didn't they put them with Lady Gaga?
Yeah.
Which you're like, wow, that's interesting. You don't trust Metallica that can sell out stadiums across the world? Do you think they need Lady Gaga's help?
Something.
Okay, so best new artist at Grammys. I'll look it up.
But while you're looking that up, the whole thing with the Grammys is the same thing with the Super Bowl. Like, so many of us that are like football fans, like, you're like, oh, at halftime at the Super Bowl, I want to see AC/DC. I want to see Metallica. I want to see. Well, that's the thing. The NFL already has that audience. Like, the guys that are watching that are or listening to Metallica, AC/DC, all these like rock bands are the guys who are already watching the NFL.
Right,
they're watching the game.
Right,
So
having Timberlake on there isn't for the people that love football.
Exactly, it's for the wife and the girlfriend and the daughter to sit down and watch that same program, and so Katie Mohawke, what's her name?
Caitlin Mohan.
So Caitlin,
Mohan.
I agree with you. I would love to have hard rock and punk and some of the underground stuff like on TV, but I think take solace in the fact that it's not. So, like, for me, my suggestion to you and my encouragement to you is be happy that it's not. So what you love isn't being watered down, isn't being played out over and over, because we all know when our parents start listening to the music that we like, it's no longer cool.
Absolutely. It's like when my parents got on Facebook. Like I was like, well, time to go. So here's the thing, though. I'm got to double back for a second. According to this, the best new artist at the Grammys was not Macy Gray. Britney Spears, Kid Rock, Macy Gray, Susan Tedeschi, and Christina Aguilera were up for it in the year 2000. Christina Aguilera won it. So I guess they didn't get it wrong. Christina,
girl.
then Shelby Lynn won it.
No clue who that is.
Alicia Keys, we know. Nora Jones, who was like on Blue Note Records and I think sold 200 copies, but had that great. She's like a blues artist.
Yeah.
Evanescence, yikes. Maroon 5, John Legend, Carrie Underwood, Amy Winehouse, Adele. So I mean, I guess that's not that bad.
No,
Zach Brown Band, Esperanza Spalding, Bon Iver. Remember, it's like I don't know.
Oh, Bon Iver.
I always call him Bon Iver. Fun, Macklemore.
Some nights I stay.
Yeah. Sam Smith, Megan Trainor, Chance the Rapper, and Alicia Cara. So I guess, you know what, these are all, they got them right because a lot of these people are big names.
Yeah.
But never forget that Cisco was up for it in 2001.
Ooh.
Cisco against Brad Paisley, Jill Scott, and Papa Roach.
Oh. This is my last resort.
Check it.
That was the first.
You were supposed to sing. I was going to be the guitar.
Oh, you were going to be the guitar?
Yeah.
But the guitar is the fun part. That was the first song I ever downloaded illegally. Like when I heard everything about Napster and all that was the first song I ever illegally downloaded.
I feel like you don't give If I Cut My Arm Bleeding. What? That doesn't make any sense.
If I cut my arm bleeding.
Yeah, you cut your arm with a knife, but you don't cut your arm bleeding.
Dude.
Yeah, that was the jam.
Dude.
I don't mind me some Papa Roach.
Oh, no.
Put them
I like
with
their
them.
older stuff. Their older stuff, I like that first album, Infest.
Yeah.
I think I put the inflection on the wrong. Infest. I said Infest.
Either way, it's what it's called.
And then some of their subsequent albums I wasn't so big on. And then about 5 years ago, they kind of came back to their more original sound, and I like them.
I think any band that's 20 years in or whatever needs to go back to their original sound.
Yeah, you kind of come full circle.
Exactly.
CalcagnoRadio.